We are live. Now you can talk.
Greetings,
Good morning.
other Earthlings, and Chauncey, if that is your name.
Yeah. Chauncey.
So Harry's driving down to LA tomorrow, which will take you 3 days or 2 days?
Let's see. We're going to leave tomorrow morning. We'll stop in Oregon for the night, tomorrow night. And then Thursday, head down to San Francisco Bay Area, go to Danville, spend the night there. We'll be in LA Friday. But we'll probably have Monday to hang out and do things if you guys are available.
Well, should be okay for me.
It's Atomic isn't open on Monday.
Yeah. How long are you in town for?
Monday and Tuesday.
Okay. There's plenty of other places to go to.
I'd like to go to Record Safari for sure.
Okay.
And then I don't know what else. Kind of like to meet Jim's pig.
Oh, you can meet the pig. Pig's here. You've never met the pig?
No. I've met a few pigs, but not yours.
She scares the shit out of me, man. She does.
I'll wait till Mazzy comes up, but there was this thing that popped up about the Beatles yesterday. Did any of you guys see it?
About the Suns?
Yeah, this seems kind of stupid. What's your take on it?
A waste of time. I mean, I'm sure somebody will enjoy whatever it is, but not me.
I think I heard some of it. It didn't sound that good to me. It's they put out a song, just one song. I'm not 100% sure on what it's the Paul McCartney's son, James. That's his youngest kid. That's his youngest kid, right?
Yeah, James, Danny, and Julian.
Yeah.
And is Zach involved?
I don't know.
He's not working right now. Good morning, everybody.
Seems weird.
Hey, man. What's his name? Just got fired from the Who. So
that's what he just said.
He's got to work.
Yeah.
The only way to make money is to play live.
I'm sure. How many kids did Ringo have? He didn't have that many kids, right?
I don't know.
Ringo didn't give kids any of the money, though. He gives me all of his money. I get a check every day.
I'm sure he's going to leave his kids.
I want to talk to Steve. I made pulled pork this weekend for Father's Day.
Is that what they call it?
You just take a shoulder, and it grows back.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't it?
Yeah.
No humor at all.
I think the answer to easy now is that it'll be Yoko's daughter, Kyoko. That'll break up.
She has a daughter?
Oh, yeah.
How old's the daughter? Like 60 years old?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, she was young when she married John. The daughter was like 5 years old or so.
What's the
daughter? You never heard the song?
I've never knew of her. What was her deal?
She's got a song. Yoko has a song called "Don't Worry, Kyoko. Mommy's only looking for your hand in the snow" or something like that.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hey, Harry, could you scream a few lines of it?
I don't want to offend anybody.
A brief eternity with Yoko Ono.
I mean,
so I had a good open mic. For open mic, I played Brian Wilson or the Beach Boys in my room, and then I did Sly Stone's "Everyday People."
Wow!
And then Rick Derringer's "Hang On, Sloopy."
Oh, that's right.
Has there ever been a band of Nepo kids that was a hit band?
Wasn't
good question.
Carly, wasn't she in a hit band? Wasn't
Yeah, Carney Wilson.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess the Wilson
Wilsons.
Phillips.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
Dino, Desi, and Billy.
When Wilson Phillips, but here's the point. Here's my point of this question. When Wilson Phillips came out, they didn't come out as the kids of the famous people. I think people didn't know who they were. That's not how they were put out there.
The names kind of gave it away.
Wilson Phillips was huge.
No, you're not.
And their music was good.
You're not listening to what the words are coming out of my mouth. They were huge.
Yeah.
But I don't think they came out saying these are the kids of these famous people.
Okay,
That's not
so
how they were
well, the press, it was all over. Yeah, it was a part. Maybe the label didn't do it, but it was press. It was promoted that way. Plus,
it's not what made. Yeah. Okay, that's one.
They had a good record. They had a good single.
That was technically one band, but I'm thinking more rock. They were like a pop.
Well, the Nelsons, Ricky Nelson's sons.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jacob Dylan's band.
Nelson.
Yeah, Jacob Dylan.
Wallflowers.
He can't avoid it. He looks.
I mean, there are a lot of kids who failed and a lot of kids that did well. So,
well, this particular one that
Weasel Zappa
spurred this discussion. Did you listen to the song, Mazzy? I heard some of it.
I just heard. I've heard about it. I didn't know it was out at all. It is Zach. Zach's on it. Sean's not on it, is he? Is Sean on it?
I thought Sean was on it.
Oh, maybe he is. See, I haven't followed it.
Didn't I send a link to the group chat?
Yeah, probably. Everyone sends a link, but your links are always invisible, so you don't even see what the preview is. And I could click on it, and I could get like malware on my computer.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. That's why we don't.
How I make money.
Exactly.
Just click on the QR code.
Hi, boys. Good morning. What a wonderful world we're living in right now.
It's a shitty world.
It's a beautiful world, man. Hey, you know what? I had a very nice Father's Day.
I'm going to do a little promo thing. And after this show at 9 a.m., finally, after 4 months, by request, volume 2 of the Resistance video shows up.
What?
I don't know if I saw volume 1.
It was good. It was Chris, the long cut, Todd, his channel, and Digital Gramophone, and big political warning, but it'll still piss people off. It's an hour and a half. We show records, so the music's the genesis of it, but it does veer occasionally into political content, and especially at the very end. So. Okay. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah. Paul McCartney's son seems to be I just say black sheep. He doesn't, I have one of his CDs.
My vague knowledge of him, even at the youngest of age, he picked up a guitar. Like he's been attempting to be a musician from when he was arriving into teenhood.
Yeah. Danny's not on it.
He's probably got the most talent.
The big shadow is the what's her face, Stella, right?
Well, she was a fashion designer.
Yeah, but she became gigantically huge. You can't.
Yeah,
there's no way he could have achieved her level of.
No, she's big in her realm. Yeah, in her.
And then there are a number of actor children.
Well, a lot.
The point was, I'm talking about like a multifaceted band made up of famous kids.
4 of them. There's like 3.
I'm not like one-offs. A lot of people are mentioning the one-offs.
Yeah.
There was the Tin Machine with David Bowie and Soupy Sales.
The Hunt brothers were always a separate entity. They didn't really think, okay, we're Soupy Sales kids, and
yeah, but I mean, he wasn't a musician.
I think what Rob, you're talking about, like pick any band. Let's say it's the Who, and you got 4 members of the Who, the 4 kids of the band starting something. That would be. I don't think that is. Yeah,
well, there was. How about Pete Townsend had his daughter sing on a song with him. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, and so did
brother.
And David Gilmour.
How about
David
these
Gilmour's
legacy
daughter.
bands that have children playing in the band?
That
I think
happens a lot.
Los
Yeah.
Lobos has one of their kids is on the drums, I think.
Oh.
I find that kind of
Phil
weird.
Collins' son and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm
Well,
talking about a
yeah, I know what you're talking
band that is made up of like this Beatle nonsense that happened.
Right.
That's what spurred my thought.
I think we beat that into the ground.
Yeah, I think.
They
Did
have
you
no
watch-
interest in it.
Mazzy seemed to be
Too
the one
new.
who watched. I peered in a little bit of
Of
the Steve Westman's interview of the polygram guy.
I watched it all. Yeah.
Did you learn anything?
No, but I enjoyed. I enjoyed seeing him unscripted for the first time. I mean, he does great videos, and they're very scripted and they're very precise, and he's really good at what he knows, stuff. I was reading the forums after, and a couple of people were bitching that, he didn't say anything new. They don't know anything new, and he said something of the stuff printed at GZ, which is not. I think they referred to GZ, but he didn't exactly say that. It was print where the mono box is optimal. Yeah, it was nice. Nothing brand new, but it was just a nice.
Here's the problem with someone like him. That polygram auction is a one-trick pony to me. This is my take on him. He talks about stuff that have been, for lack of a better phrase, rammed down our throats, at least my whole life. Like, I can't think of one Beatle factoid I don't know, and I'm not a giant Beatles fan.
Well, I think he's got a really good channel.
I do too.
Well, hold on. I'm not talking about his channel. I'm talking about the type of subject matter he talks about that I have no interest in watching.
He's a 90%. He's a 90%
calling the pot black.
No, how is it calling the kettle the pot black?
Because you talk about jazz all the time, and there's some people that are interested in it.
There are hundreds of people who don't like watching me for a number of reasons. Number one being jazz, but I can have an opinion on what I do not want to watch. It has nothing to do.
That's not what you said.
It has nothing to do with what I talk about. And
it's not.
So far, we've been on here for 12 minutes, Harry. I haven't talked about jazz until you mentioned it. So I would say the general topic of conversation on my live stream, there's not a lot of jazz talk here.
Parlogram Auctions is not a channel for Rob the Waxed. It's 90%.
It's not a fight about it. I'm telling you
and that's fair.
Hold on. Let me finish my point, and you can attack it I'll give you the open floor. That type of guy, and he could be talking about any subject, but every time he had been mentioned in my experience, and I would go there and watch, it would just be too much about how the soup is made about the Beatles.
Yeah.
And I rather just have other takes. So he's just a Beatles person to me. And therefore to watch him be to watch him be interviewed, and then you're telling me, we didn't learn anything. That's less interest for me.
Okay, 90% of his channel is Beatles. He has done some monkey stuff. He did not Rob Walker. What's his name? The Walker brother guy. He's done some other things, mostly British centric, although Monkeys is not. Ironically, for someone being probably 20 years younger than me, he's all in on like boomer music. It seems like that period of stuff. But you're right. He gets in the details of different, not pressings like Peebythal would or Dead Wax stuff, but he does mention that. But the releases, and he talks about, in a way, trying to get in the mindset of Apple or the Beatles and why they released this and that. And he's not judgmental about it. He pretty much lays it out there and you can make the decision. He's not a critical person, maybe like a lot of other people, but he'll go after Apple a little bit and say why, like this release of the mono thing. Why did it happen so fast and everything? So
he did an entire episode just on reel-to-reel tape, so I thought it was fascinating.
He's very well
researched. It was about the Beatles, but it was about a tape.
he's very well researched, and
I learned something in the interview. I learned that I always thought that his videos were shot in a really nice studio. He says they're shot basically like in the attic of his house.
Well, that's like any.
And it's hot up there, he said.
No. He just has he uses a combination of post-production tools and AI production tools, and he produces his videos extremely well.
Have you ever seen any of his
yesterday's
auctions?
paper? Like yesterday's paper, same thing. I mean,
It's parallelogram auctions, and I've never seen them do an auction.
I asked that. He didn't answer it, and I actually asked on the Westman. I typed in. I said, "Do you actually have an auction site?" Because I didn't know. Someone said he does stuff on eBay. I don't know if he still does or used to have an eBay store. I have no idea. But he seems to know a lot.
Does he make his living just off of YouTube?
I don't know. He's got like about almost 100,000 subscribers. His videos get 20, 30, 40, 70,000 views. So he's making some money. He lives in Germany. He's an expat from the UK.
Is it Germany or Switzerland?
I thought it was Germany, but it could be Switzerland.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just talking without Harry triggering Harry to attack me on anything I say.
Jesus.
Because again, I'm on the Jazz Bums. I talk about jazz, but typically on this live stream, we don't really talk about jazz.
Harry.
So
I agree with you, Harry.
Hey everyone, jazz. I'm talking about
that big picture of Jocko up there behind you.
Yeah. You know what? Subliminally, I'm doing this every 5 minutes.
Oh God.
Hey, I'm going to be doing an auction.
Me?
When? Where?
Well, it'll be after I get back, but I'm going to do a flip video. See over here? Can you see those 2 tubs of records right there?
Yeah.
That tub there is full, and that's going to be auction albums from that collection I picked up. I need to talk to Patrick.
Let me show you how it's done, Harry. I'm doing an auction on Saturday, and people that, to Harry's point, I will have a lot of other than jazz records too, to see how it does. And here's some. This will be in the auction on Saturday. Cowboy Junkies. This will be a white label promo of the Sparks record, introducing the Sparks white label promo. And I think I'm going to put this Zombies alternative cover.
Yeah, that's one you don't see all the time.
No. This is a US, but what label is that? Date
is a division of Epic.
Yeah.
Columbia.
And then any real people out there, I'm passing this along for Jim.
Nobody's real.
If anyone who wants a real copy, I'm not going to auction this of the Neil Young. Everybody knows this is nowhere. Reach out to me.
Harry wants
that. Can you put that in my pile?
Well, it's Jim, so you're going to have to give Jim what he would like for that tape.
We'll talk, Jim.
Okay. I have 2 of them.
Well,
now most of the records that I'll be auctioning, I'll feature feet on the cover.
Oh, shit. Can I get in on that first? Mazzy?
Yes.
Mazzy?
Yes.
Oh, Mazzy?
Yes. What? Do you have a question?
When was the last time
you just want to present my feet to the
Hey,
that's only for your what do they call that? OnlyFans?
Today I'm going all in on jazz because Harry requested it. So I picked up some jazz records. But this is an interesting one. I'm just going to show ones that are interesting. This record right here.
Harry, wake me up. Okay.
Yeah.
Don Patterson was a jazz organist, but there was only one pressing of this record. They only pressed it once in 1970. And an interesting well, this record's very in demand. It's a rare record.
What do I know?
There's an interesting thing on there. Blue Grant on guitar.
Blue Grant?
Blue Grant. Do you know who Blue Grant is?
Wasn't he on Mary Tyler Moore
is that Grant Green's phony name?
It's Grant Green.
Yeah.
He couldn't use his name.
Right.
So
That's
that's
a good
an interesting thing.
pseudonym. It's
Morning,
basically Leandro Mysterioso. You know who that is, Rob?
No.
Oh, I know the name.
What's George Harrison? He used that name on a couple.
Mysterioso. I didn't.
Leangelo Mysterioso was one of his, and then Stig O'Hara and Harry Georgeson.
Oh, don't make it about the beat. Did you learn that on Polygram Auctions, Mazzy?
Oh no, not him
I
again.
knew that stuff. You know, I don't watch all the Polygram auction videos, but I like them very much. But I always learn a little bit about the subject he's talking about.
Again,
I know. Anyway,
could I say this? I've watched a few of his videos. Nothing against him. More power to him. I could only wish to be as successful as him at YouTube, and I will probably never achieve his level.
Won't. You won't.
But that is respected. You won't. Thanks for your support, Mazzy.
You won't. You just won't.
When Mazzy has this unique thing, when he mentions you on his channel, it has no effect. It's not like Melinda Murphy.
No, my point is, even if you hit 100,000, by that he'll have 1 million subscribers.
No, but that's not my goal at YouTube. I think if I didn't have other things going on and could put more effort into it, maybe I'd be better than I am. But who knows?
You guys,
but getting to the point of Polygram Auctions is I tend to not like watching channels that are over. I won't say overproduced, but definitely over conceptualized and scripted. That's why I've kind of veered to just doing mostly live streams, because I like the spontaneity and the natural conversation.
You know what I will say, and Parlograms, someone just mentioned Parlograms, Sgt. Pepper, and every time you hear about the Beatles and mono and stereo and all that stuff, it's, the Beatles jumped in on mono, and everyone was in a mono, especially in the UK. And stereo
was at the time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's afterthought of, well, they worked on 4 days on Sgt. Pepper and mono, and they worked on it for 4 hours and and the Beatles weren't even there. But first of all, in the 60s, 95% of the time, the artists weren't in on the mix. They just weren't there. It wasn't a thing then. There are exceptions.
The Beatles were on mono, though.
But not like in every minute, okay? I mean, they were there, sure. But also, when you're doing a mix initially, so they put all the time in the mono mix. By the time you finish that, you don't need as long to do the stereo because you're already familiar. You know what your tracks are, and it'll be faster to do a stereo, whatever that is. Can
I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When did the Beatles have complete creative control, or did they ever?
Pretty.
Probably,
Yeah,
67 maybe.
I mean, Rubber Soul. That's 65.
When did they have to say "fuck you, record company"? We're doing what we want to do.
Well, they couldn't say that, but what happened is it. In the old days, you have to go in like EMI. The nice thing about EMI Studios, which is Abbey Road, it was owned by the label, so it wasn't like they had to pay hourly. At one point, probably by 65, probably 66, they could stay there no matter what. They
never paid for studio time ever.
Right. And it wasn't taken out of
that again. A note from the record company, and they could say, "We don't need your notes." When did that happen?
They never had. The very beginning they had that, but once they started selling, they trusted. It wasn't the label saying yes or no. It was George Martin and the Beatles, George and their team. So no, they never had to go through the label thing. Like with Wilco, we're not going to release Hotel Yankee Foxtrot. We're not going to release Sgt. Pepper because it's too esoteric. They never had that.
You have to speak in American here, Madamson. I don't know what you mean.
Oh,
my interpretation is you're getting a hard-on from it.
Now, Madam Paul, I didn't bring up the Beatles today. It wasn't me, so don't blame me.
No,
I'm a little pissed off at Paul that he leaves the fucking country when I come to England last year. Okay, the 1 week I'm in England.
All about you, Mazzy.
He's in America. No, I wanted to meet him. I wanted to beat him.
It's sort of, it's not Beatles specific talk. It's sort of this channel. He's 100% in on the Beatles. That's pretty much all he talks about. And for me, I think I know all I need to know about the Beatles. I don't think
Well,
there's.
I'm glad you know so much, Rob. I'm glad you know so much.
Well, no, it's my. I think if you're at least solidly Gen X, there's not one part of pop culture throughout the history of my life where I had the ability to take in information and remember that I didn't know about the Beatles. And with each year, there's been information. It's always been there, and it's put out there that if you participate in life, you know about it. So, I mean, I don't know. I'd be very surprised of information that came out about the Beatles that I didn't know or would be interested in. I'd be very surprised by it.
That's fair. But think about it. There's a lot of people who watch YouTubes that are younger or not familiar. I mean, I just do stuff on any band. And like people I didn't know it was Ray Davis, and they argue with me, say, no, it's Davies. What's no?
Yeah,
it's
but
Davis.
I mean,
that's one thing. And I hate
when you were here, let me just give you my take, and it's not trying to bash you, Mazzy.
You can bash me.
But when we say Ray Davies,
every fucking Tuesday
when we know it is Ray Davies, it's been hammered into us. And Mazzy goes, "Oh no, it's actually Davis." And
no, because
you know what my takeaway from that is? That's just Mazzy being Mazzy. It has nothing to do with the being called Davis.
Ooh,
but when
breaking news, Elliot has breaking news.
But every time I say Ray Davis, and if I don't explain it, I get 10, 20 comments of people telling me it's Davies.
And same with Randy Bachman. It's Randy Bachman, not Bachman.
It's Rickenbacker, not Rickenbacker.
You know what you say to them, Mazzy? You pretend
Moog,
what would the blacks
not
do?
Moog.
And you go, I'm fucking American. I'm calling them Davies. That's how they were sold here.
They weren't sold here. They were sold as the Kinks.
With Ray Davies. That's okay. As a Gen Xer, again, another band that I knew about at a young age was the Kinks. Another band when I was a teenager who toured relentlessly in the United States. They toured every year in the U.S.
Who did?
Throughout the Kinks, throughout my teen
No,
years.
they toured like once and got kicked out.
Wax's generation.
You can say no, and I can say someone.
You're talking about Wax's generation.
In my generation is the Gen X. Listen to what I'm saying, Harry. Yeah. When I was a teenager, the Kinks toured like every year.
Yeah,
they came to the Capitol Center.
You're much younger than me.
Yes, a lot younger. Which was the arena. Which was the arena in DC. They toured every year. They toured too much because sometimes they didn't sell out or fill.
Well, they were barred from 65 to 69 for union.
And they had their. You can argue with me, but their biggest popular success, the video age, they had hit songs, they had hit albums, and
low budget was a big one.
MTV. What we watch religiously, they never called them Davis; they called them Davies. So don't yell at me. Yell at the way they were sold throughout my teen years.
That's
in the
not
United
being
States.
sold. People who knew, it's like interview people didn't know.
No one my age knew them as Davis. They knew him as Davies.
Pantazzi or Fantasy? Good. That's a good one, Miss You.
And it's Waxed.
I mean, we can vote. We can vote on that. Where Nick can say, "Well, actually, it's Fantasy." Pantazzi is how we know him.
Life is just a fantasy.
And my name is Kaplan, but I spell it with a silent E at the end.
Well, and people don't know this. I'm half Kaplan. My mom's maiden name is Kaplan.
Which impressed the shit out of my dad.
I'm sorry to say. I'm glad to say. Yeah. Right, mate. Yeah. Yes, we have the same mother. His name is Mr. Dave Davis. That's over there.
Ray Davis.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back to that video. That obviously is not the early 80s, Mazzy. That looks like it's in the 70s.
This is the 70s.
All right. That was not when the Kinks were sold to me as Davies. It was the MTV era.
Well, some DJ sold it to you, not the band. So
no. Listen.
This is Don Kirshner, one of those shows, or midnight, whatever it's called.
Yes. Okay.
It was like 74.
All I'm saying is my life experience is trashed here. It's like it's hysterical to me. Like when I show a non-jazz album, people act like, "Wow, Rob doesn't listen to jazz." I've been on this planet a fucking long time.
I keep certain videos in just for proof when I have to. Like if you're in a bar and someone comes up to you in a bar and says, "Hey, aren't you
think
Mazzy?"
Someone would punch you in the face if you pulled your phone out to show a video.
Exactly.
It's Mazay.
Yep. It's Maslov. Love. Maslov.
Listen, here's another. There's nothing you comment that's original to any and adds to any conversation.
Hey, Rob, I'm a little concerned. Am I going to be safe when I get down there?
No. Actually, here's how we keep people in LA. When they arrive, we set them on fire. If you don't burn all the way, then you're good.
Bring some kindling, Harry.
Here, this is what I
would
showed.
Bring a burner phone. Bring a burner phone, Harry. Just bring a fucking burner phone.
Are you gonna? Never mind.
There you go.
My daughter was downtown on Saturday.
I'm proud of Americans and what they did.
Me too.
Seattle had 70,000 people downtown, or at Seattle Center. Amazing.
All I'm saying is
give peace a chance.
It's hysterical how things go only one way and not both ways.
This is the kind of horror that you're gonna have to deal with when you get here.
Oh my God. No.
And that's Jim in that costume.
That's me on Rob's shoulders.
They want to take away our avocado toast, man.
No, avocado's going way up.
Yeah.
Well.
So anyway, that was Saturday in Los Angeles. This morning, it's devastation. It's apocalypse now. It's a zombie apocalypse out there.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to get to the record stores, or is the army going to block all the entrances?
Well,
they don't give a shit
I've been sent orders by our leaders, Harry, that when you're driving with me, I'm to be on my phone the whole time.
Did you finally get GPS in your car?
I've always had GPS in my car.
Why didn't you use it?
I
still remember him going,
I have a modern.
I needed that exit right there.
I have a modern. Hold on. I have a modern car with equipped of all the modern things. But Jim's one person who uses GPS, but somehow doesn't use GPS.
I find GPS.
Fluffy, let's figure on Monday meeting up if you want. I'll bring down that Hamill album if you still want it.
What?
And anybody else in the LA area? Let's try to do something Monday.
Let's meet at my house. My house
for breakfast.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
we can go to the lesbian. We can go to the lesbian breakfast place.
Do you have bacon? You have bacon. You have fresh bacon.
I can get a little pork belly.
We're gonna go. We'll go to the diner place near Jim.
We'll go to the Rise and Shine Cafe.
Rise and Shine. It's the Trumper lesbian breakfast place.
My mom used to be a short order cook, and she worked at a place called the Rise and Shine. She worked at one called the Dewdrop Inn.
Wow.
They were all like little roadside diners, like you used to have in the 50s and early 60s. They were.
That's what she told you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Vinyl Kick, I agree. Protesting is not wasting your time, especially since it was free and it wasn't $45 million of taxpayers' money. That's a waste.
But there's about $1 million that we're going to have to pay to clean the shit up as taxpayers.
Yeah, but look at all the money that went in the economy those days.
I'm just saying we ought to pay $1 million to clean up.
And look at all the business that it creates. All those glass companies get to put in new windows and doors.
All the plywood.
Okay, let me.
Very little of that.
People don't think about this, but the better way to explain it is, why does an American city want a Super Bowl? Because when the Super Bowl comes to your city, it's there for almost 2 weeks. The economy it brings to the city,
it gets the best prostitutes too.
Yeah,
that's part of the economy.
Yeah,
It's
especially from the
hundreds of millions of
Republicans.
dollars
They're better.
that it brings to the city, in hotel rooms and restaurants and tax. It's all that stuff is
But
tax.
then if your team wins, or like if your team wins, I don't understand why people destroy things when a sports team wins.
Well, Mazzy, Super Bowls are at a neutral location, so it has nothing to do with the
but you know,
so
World Series, even in San Francisco, the Giants win.
well,
they go into
stop
Michigan,
making it about San Francisco. This is like Davies nonsense.
Now, isn't the U.S. hosting the World Cup this year?
Well, they could pull
Seattle.
Well,
I mean, how are they going to get here? He's blocking people from all these nations. How are they going to get here to watch it?
The World Cup
Americans don't watch it.
is being hosted by Los Angeles, but games will be in other cities.
Yeah,
even
Seattle has a big,
in Mexico, but it's being hosted by LA.
And the Olympics, we have that.
And the Olympics are in LA, but they could easily.
Good luck.
Technically, the Olympics some events will be in other places, other cities.
You know, things like that put stress on a city, but it brings so much money into the local economies.
Okay, here's my take. In '84, when we had the Olympics, Jerry Brown convinced the big corporations downtown to stagger what time people had to show up. So you either came at 7 or at 10. And because of that, for the 2 weeks of the Olympics, traffic was better than ever.
Wow.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
There was no traffic in LA.
Yeah, but we didn't have the metro like we do now. It's a different place.
Metro's bullshit, but I'm saying it's possible that it won't be a disaster. It probably will, but last time they handled it perfectly.
All I'm saying right now,
give peace a chance.
No. Here was my point before I was drowned out by all your nonsense. My point was, all those protesting, I would like someone to do a report on the economy of every place that had large groups protesting, because I'm sure the financial windfall was not a bad thing for those areas.
Coffee Julie has 3 cafes, and 2 of them are in areas near a lot of this stuff. She had 5 times the business she usually has on Saturday.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and that's one local cafe.
That would be the art of discussing this with people, like the people that are saying that these protests were a dud. Financially, I bet you they were not a dud.
Look at all the marking pens and signboards, you know, all that stuff, right? Costumes.
Very true.
Did you hear that Trump's turning the White House in September? He's making more money. You know, he just did the cell phones yesterday. If you saw that,
that's an area I would like to talk about. I don't mind talking about that.
Made in America, but really made in China. But he's turning the White House into a Halloween superstore in October.
No, Mazzy, that would be a funny joke if it wasn't in the trailer of the new Naked Gun movie.
Okay, well,
I didn't like that trailer. I think that movie's
I can report. I have a friend that were at test screenings and says it's good. So that's
I thought it was hysterical.
All right, so let's go back. This is what I would like to talk about: the Trump phone nonsense. People don't understand that every phone company that exists that is branded, they can only lease cell time from 4 companies, maybe 3. Right. So whatever this Trump nonsense is, they're going to be on the T-Mobile network or the Verizon network. Most likely they're going to be on the open one, like the CM whatever, like T-Mobile. So, and they're at the mercy of T-Mobile. T-Mobile's not at the mercy of the Trump phone company. Trump is not launching satellites into outer space. They're going to have to license cell time from a company.
Fail like everything else he's done.
No.
All right. So I'm getting back to the whole concept of
the lemmings will buy them.
Right, but the phones being here's the main point: the phones being made in the U.S. There's no infrastructure. I think they're
not being made in the U.S.
The last phone company that made the last
they
phone
could make the shell here.
And I finished talk. I said, hold on. Let me just get my point out. The last phone company I think that was made, physical phones that were made in the U.S. was Motorola. I think People can correct me if I'm wrong, and they're way gone. If someone wanted to build a phone tomorrow, there's no infrastructure, and there's definitely no workforce that is trained to make phones. So this phone's supposed to come out in September. There's no way movies can't be made that fast. There's no way these phones are made in the USA.
Well,
That's
you know, and these Trump phones, when you text someone, it's always all caps. You can't even do a smaller case. And everything's
Hey,
misspelled.
Gary, next time you go to open Mike, will you take Mazzy with you to open for you?
This is just a licensing deal.
Hey, Rob,
your name on the phone.
But all I'm saying is, we understand this, but the lemmings of his followers think this phone's made in the US of A. And even though you're licensing the cell time from these companies, you need an infrastructure of tech people to run the cell phone company.
The only good thing about this phone is you're going to be on all of the Signal chats.
I think we all should start using Signal.
That's good.
Hey, so when you put this gold phone in your pocket, does it turn your pants green or your body part green there?
Oh, shit.
Hey, man. How are the Trump NFTs doing? Remember those?
Oh, God. Well, to be fair, the whole NFT thing is fucked up. I mean, not just Trump. So it's like, what a scam that was. Hey, Rob.
You think it wasn't fucked from the beginning?
Yeah, totally. It's like a pyramid scheme. Rob, your buddy sent me a pile of records yesterday. I got.
Do you want to show any of them before you listen to them?
Yeah. I mean,
does he send you CDs? Because a lot of their releases are CD only.
He said he was going to, but
I'll tell him to.
The other good news is that the ICE raids are going to be halted at certain industries.
Oh yeah, right. Because farmers in red states got all pissy. It's okay to be legal or illegal on farms now in all the states because the farm. So if you're doing this whole thing against immigration, you all of a sudden just because they're farmers, those are fine. I mean, it's not consistent, whatever.
Yeah, the taco phone. I like it. Yeah.
Okay, first of all,
that's awesome. Wait, you guys are forgetting the fact that the rapists are gone. They got all the rapers, and now they're just working on everyone else.
We're cool with rapers. We're cool with rape.
We got to wait. We got one more.
Hold on.
The rapists and the terrorists.
The president is a rapist,
and now they're on to.
Let's just attack him on this one subject. Surface spins. Where are you? Surface spins. Explain to me the infrastructure. Explain to me the infrastructure that's in place right now where a phone can be assembled in the U.S.
Yeah. It's where they just put a sticker on it.
Seriously, where is there? Because there are certain standards you have to meet.
Right.
I
don't
know. In the United States means
what they could do, Rob, for what they might be doing, they could be adding some kind of badge, Trump badge in the U.S.
Spray paint. No, it's a garage in downtown L.A. and there's 100 illegals,
all illegal aliens
with gold spray paint cans and spray paint.
Exactly. So that okay. First of all, he sent me one. He must had watched my video.
Hold on, let me put you in the
position. I didn't know they put this out, and I wish I'd known. I recorded another video based on Camper Van Beethoven. In 2014, Omnivore put this out. I had no idea.
I told you they put that out. I have that.
I forgot. I don't listen to you half the time. Whatever.
All right.
But so obviously they don't have the license anymore, which is unfortunate. I don't know.
Yes.
This is a great. I have an original. So, but this is a great record. This is their. This is their first or second for Virgin. I think it's their first. This is a great record.
They put out a bunch of Camper Van Beethoven stuff.
See, I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that. So that next, I don't have this, so it's kind of this. Good grief.
Oh, good.
So that's the second pressing they've done of that. They put that out in like 2017, and that's a Kevin Gray. That's Kevin Gray. So they put it out, I think, on Green.
I've been to the studios. It doesn't exist anymore. Golden State Recorders in San Francisco.
They put that out on green vinyl like in 2017. It's on
Okay.
yellow vinyl now.
It gets reissued every year almost.
Yeah.
All
Well,
of that stuff.
Not by
To be
them.
Not
No.
all the Charlie Brown stuff gets reissued. Kraft does the Christmas one, and people like them. So good. They're putting in now this one. I'll listen to it and I'll talk about it. And I'm surprised he sent it to me. I guess he didn't get the memo from Rob.
That you didn't like it. Well, here's a question for you, Mazzy. And this is so
Good album.
there's two
This
discs.
is the rapper, right? Crisscross.
Yes, there's 2 discs in there. The first disc is the original album, which uses Bernie Grubman's mastering for that pressing. Okay.
I'm sure it sounds excellent. I'm sure. I'm not a big yacht rock, although I'll check it out. This record was so big. I remember how big it was.
They hope that will be a big release because it's a demand. It's a record in demand, and it was a popular record. So typically, you don't find one in mint condition.
Okay.
Yes.
thanks.
It's a good
All right,
album.
go on to the next record, Mazzy. Hold your breath.
Okay. This is someone I don't know, but this is demos from 2004 from her debut album, Nellie McKay.
Oh, hold on, Mazzy. There's someone more important than you. Melinda Murphy says that Christopher Cross sounds excellent.
Oh, I'm sure it sounds excellent. Oh, Melinda, I don't doubt that.
Don't fight, Melinda. Mazzy would like to invite you to a fight video between you and
Rob, you didn't listen to what I said. Okay, here's a good example. I'm going to listen to it, and I'll be honest with it, and then I'll get the usual bumpkins saying, "Oh, you got it for free. That's why you like it." Whatever. I was surprised because I almost didn't want them. I got the memo, I think, from Impacts because I love the Donovan album they put out recently, and they sent me that Dan Fogelberg record, and I had a preconceived thing. I'd never heard the record, but I remember selling the shit out of that record in the 70s. And I always thought it was more of a mellowy kind of introspective. And it's right in the wheelhouse with Joe Walsh produced it and that Eagles 3. And I actually liked it more than I thought I would. I definitely prejudged that record. So things surprised me.
Joe Walsh produced Dan Fogelberg?
Yeah, the big one, Souvenirs. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He didn't join the Eagles yet. And the Eagles are on it and Graham Nash is on it.
All right, let's not change. Let's stay on. So Omnivore. He's showing my buddy's record company, Omnivore, is reissuing the records that Mazzy is showing right now.
Yes.
If you don't like that, I'll trade you something for it later, Mazzy.
Here's my deal. It's not that I won't like it. I'll be honest with my feelings on this. Is where it's hard when you're talking about them. That's why I rarely show records I don't like the music to. And
I can't wait for you to do a whack-a-mole and pull that out.
Well, it's not on the shelf. It has to be on the shelf.
It will be.
I don't think. Well, maybe we'll see.
Can we get?
What I think? What it was. I remember when this and Toto are 2 albums. I forgot which Toto record, but not that the Grammys are any measure, obviously. But one night, both Toto and Christopher Cross, different nights, won more Grammys in one night than the Beatles had done in their entire career. I just thought was wank.
Well, I would believe what you're saying is true, Mazzy, only if Polygram Auctions said it.
Yes. So I don't know. Anybody know Nellie McKay? Apparently,
no.
So she came out. Here's who Nellie McKay is. She was the anti Britney Spears. So around the same time Britney Spears was big, Nellie McKay was a singer, songwriter, piano, probably around the same age as Britney Spears, and she had a modicum of success, but it was like an anti Britney Spears thing.
Yeah, I can't show everything just because I get it.
Rob Walker.
Yeah. Anyway, and then the last 2. Now these are intriguing to me, and I was texting Kimball about him yesterday to tell me more about him. These guys were like a kind of a hard rock grunge band out of Tacoma in Seattle, and I had vaguely heard the name, but I didn't know it.
Metal Church,
Green Apple Quickstep. And this is
I didn't even get that record.
1985. There's 2 of them. They did one record a few years later, but these are their 2 initial ones. This was co-produced by Stone Gossard from Brooklyn.
Yeah, Stone.
So apparently it's more shorter song-based stuff, but I don't know. There's a song called Space Cocksucker.
I've never heard them. I've heard of them. I've never heard them.
Yeah, so I'll play these maybe over the weekend or something. But
Mazzy's more important than me. I didn't even get those.
well, more eyeballs, Rob.
How about stuff that you've actually listened to? Is there any of that you could talk to us about?
Yeah.
He just came. Is that all the records?
He didn't listen to any of those.
I understand. I asked him to show him.
Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm. What? That make him small.
I love to make fun of Christopher Cross, but he was really good.
It's funny to me, like his friends were like Eric Johnson. Like he was friends with a lot of people. People go, really?
He's a great guitar player. He really is.
You know, you get to sometimes there's so much music coming in. People say, "How do you keep up?" I listen to like 6 to 8 hours a day of records, usually on most days.
Yeah,
But,
Mazzy's better. Listen, people, Mazzy's better than most of us. There's only one person Mazzy's not better than. Melinda Murphy.
True. I've only listened to this once, and so I need to digest it more. But this is Dom's band, Material Objects, and this is a cool record. This is the one they recorded at Steve Albini's studio. Like they booked it before he died, but they worked with the other guy, Norman. What's his name?
Don't you need a woman, Rob Walker, too?
So, Dom, eventually I'll show this. I've been promoting this. I have a video tomorrow, and this is one of my top 5 records of the year. This David Lowery. This is like autobiographical, 3 records. He started Camper Van Beethoven and Cracker. This is an Americana record. It's very folksy, acoustic based, really good, really good. This is the Amy Mann album, finally on vinyl. I think it was Mo-Fi did one years ago, but it finally came out on vinyl. Amy Mann, Lost in Space, excellent record. I like this record, and I think people got much crazy on this video. This Pulp album, and I won't get into details of this version of it. It's kind of a wanky job they did on the cover. They put this out as a listening edition when they had a preview at certain stores. Like this is Easy Street Records. I think it goes for like $90 now online. It's $27. They were out of the ones with the cover, but I like the record. I like the music on the record. And then this record, I'd done a video about 4 years ago of records that I want on vinyl that haven't been on vinyl or maybe very limited vinyl. And this is Brian Ferry doing these kind of standards, and it's really good. He's got a small jazz combo, so it's not a big producing like Rod Stewart. When did that come out? The album came out in 1999 originally, and this just came out a couple weeks ago. It's excellent. Who
put it out?
This is BMG. And I didn't get a copy free. I bought it.
BMG, the big music group.
Yep. So there's other things, but I think that, I don't want to.
That's interesting. I would be interested to know what you think. Melinda said it sounded excellent.
Which thing?
The Christopher Cross. So I'd be interested.
It's a really well recorded record. I've heard the record, but I've never owned it because what year did that come out originally?
80?
80?
Was it 80? I don't know.
Someone tell me what. I don't want to look it up now.
That's when you were in prison, right, Mazzy?
Is this out in the stores yet?
I don't know if it came out yet.
Okay. Someone tell me what year this came out. 79.
Doesn't it say it on the back?
No, it doesn't. It says 2025. Okay, 19. Okay, someone says 79. Someone says 80. So okay,
it probably won all the Grammys in 80.
Got it. The reason I think this affected me in a negative way is because not negative, but I just didn't care. In 79 and 80, I was listening to punk music and post-punk and that type of music, the Clash. So this was not the kind of music I was really listening to and paying attention to.
Mazzy didn't ride like the wind in 1980.
Yeah, I was listening to this stuff in the early 70s, like James Taylor and Jonathan.
But actually, a few years later, and most people don't know this about Mazzy, he did get caught between the moon and New York City.
Well, you know,
That
79.
was a good song. That was a
I
good
don't-
movie.
I bet you in 79 this was not digital recorded. I don't, you know, I mean, Ry Cooder had done a digital one like in 70, what, 8, 9, 79, you know, Bop Till You Drop. But I think this is, thanks, Chris.
Well,
It just was, it didn't interest me. Not that I hated it. It just didn't interest me.
PB Thou, it was, they used Bernie Grumman's original mastering, but the lacquer was cut now by whoever.
You know, come on, Patrick. You always say this. The record should be in print. And yes,
All
there's
I'm saying is I have not come across a mint copy of that record. I haven't.
So Melinda, you say it's probably a digital cut, which it might be. I don't know.
No, Melinda, they used Bernie Grumman's original mastering. So
but it wasn't cut digitally. It was all analog then?
the second disc is probably digital. That is,
Yeah, it doesn't say.
hold on.
Tell
Open,
they should
open.
maybe if it's all analog, they should probably add it to the
well,
sticker.
let me clarify this because I've actually opened the record and listened to it, and it says it inside. So there are 2 discs.
All right. I'm gonna
The
do an
first
unboxing.
disc, the first disc, the album, is from Bernie Grumman's mastering. The second disc, which are demos, was done by Michael Graves, who is an Emmy, or not an Emmy. What's the music? Grammy-winning mastering engineer. He did those. He mastered them, and they are probably digital. Those are digital. But if it's from Bernie Grumman's mastering, that is analog. Okay?
You know, Rick's actually, yes. You know, lately, okay. For instance, the Donovan album. People say, "Oh, you can get that cheap. The Donovan records are cheap," and it's true. That actually sounds really good. The Dan Fogelberg record. Now, I never heard the original, so when I did my video, I couldn't compare.
Actually,
you can get that.
Omnivore has a Dan Fogelberg record they just reissued. It's one with him and Tim Weiselberg.
There are a lot of people.
No Matt
maybe not
Davis.
here. Maybe not this group
Easy
here,
now.
but there are a lot of people that don't want to go through 10 copies of a used record or 5 to get a good one, and they'll just buy a new version of it. So, you know, they would Omnivore or Impex or Rhino wouldn't put these records out if they didn't sell somewhat. Obviously, some sell more than others. You know.
Okay.
What we need are Rod
here's
McKuen reissues.
Here's the deal, all you idiots. Chance. There is no chance in hell you were going to go out and buy a Christopher Cross record. None. I guarantee it. And Kimbo, there's no chance any of you would. So to go say you could buy a $5 copy in the bargain bins, you might be right. I've seen lots of copies. None are mint, but you're not the audience.
Now,
But
it doesn't.
Hold on.
Rob.
I'm almost positive, Kimbo, if they decided to reissue some stupid, actually they did. Mazzy
What?
just showed 2 records from a band produced by a knucklehead from Pearl Jam. Kimbo, are you running out to go get those 2 records, the Green Apple records?
Okay, Rob.
There you go. Shut your traps.
225 credit. Compilation produced for release by Brad Rosenberg and Cheryl Pileski. Okay. Original album mastered by Bernie Grumman at Bernie Grumman, Hollywood. Bonus tracks mastered by Michael Graves.
Still in shrink.
I don't think it
Mint.
says
This will be in my auction.
The Michael Graves stuff is probably digital. The demos.
This will be in my auction. This is a really good album, believe it or not. I've never seen it before.
It doesn't say all analog. Now, I don't care if it's from a digital source or an analog source, but it doesn't say. And you think he would, if it was all analog, you think they would plaster that. That's what I'm just saying. These days, people care. Most people don't give a shit.
Let's be real about this, people, and you're complaining about them. Okay, Christopher
I'm not
Cross.
complaining about it.
Let me explain the situation. A couple years ago, or maybe a little more, Christopher Cross sold his whole library. So he made his mint. He sold off his whole library. And in actual fact, he has little interest in it being reissued. But the company that paid all that money is having the record reissued. So and it will probably sell. So, but Omnivore, which Mazzy just showed, puts out a ton of different records. They put out this Big Star 3 record. Okay, do any of you own it? That's not Christopher Cross music. So you, Patrick, making Barbra Streisand jokes? Know all the shit that Omnivore releases, okay?
And all these schmucks talking about it's already out there. It's the record companies, it's their business to put new records out. They make no money on used records. Either do artists.
Omnivore is a reissue label. They get contacted by companies to reissue records. Okay,
it's literally their business. So, and it might not be for this audience. That's fair.
In actual fact, who just passed away? Hold on.
New business.
Who just passed?
Mr. Schmuck.
Who just passed away?
Brian Wilson and
Omnivore releases a ton of Brian Wilson related shit.
You know, Rob, shut the fuck up, Rob. Okay.
And here's a little trivia for you. Rick Derringer's real name is Rick Zeringer, but because he was on Bang Records with a gun, Rick Derringer became his name.
Very nice.
I did not know that.
Did you see the Bang Records?
The Bang Burt
story?
That was a great documentary.
Wasn't it awesome?
Hey,
was really good.
Guys, I remember like 3 weeks ago when all you guys mentioned it and we talked about it.
Have you seen it, Rob?
We talked about it.
Oh, we talked about it. It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Jay
I had no idea that he was so involved with so many songs, that he wrote so many songs.
Yeah.
Jay Powell cut one of the discs. Let me see about the other one.
Okay,
Sure
so here's another. I talked about this one. They're putting out this Jeffrey Foskett record. He played with Brian Wilson for the guy passed away, I think, 5 or 6 years ago, but he played for over 20 years, maybe longer, with Brian Wilson.
Yeah, Jay Powell cut the vinyl, both. One's demos, yeah. Anyway, that's what labels, I mean, they make, the whole idea, the concept of the record business.
All I'm saying is there's only 2 knuckleheads making a big deal about this.
Yeah.
And I think they're nice knuckleheads.
And Rob, I just want to be clear with you because I think you twist my words around. I didn't say this is a bad record or Krista Cross is a bad artist.
I never said that. You said that.
In that point in time, it's music that I wasn't into.
You're twisting your words around. Here's the deal, Mazzy. When this record was mentioned, you were being humorous about it. You weren't being mean about it.
Yeah.
But generally, you're an idiot and you piss me off.
Right. I thought he was going to send me Chris Cross's rap records.
Hold on. Harry needs to be heard.
This is one of my favorite bands. I love this band so much. Flat Five. This guy right here toured with Brian Wilson on the Smile tour, I believe. He was part of the band on some of not the entire tour, but he did tour with them. And this is their other album, which, if you guys don't know the Flat Five, they are so good, so talented.
Hold on one second.
Two of these guys are in NRBQ.
Hold on. Dude, you don't need to get on the bad footing with me, okay? What's your favorite? List your favorite acts, okay? So we can give you shit about them.
I will say this, Rob. Okay, this came out 11 years ago, so this isn't new. But if this was released now by Omnivore, they wouldn't get the rights now, probably. But if these two were released side by side, Christopher Cross would sell more, even though I would prefer this. This would sell a lot more records than this. How many people are fucking buying like the cars and these, and this easy top stuff? And you can buy those out there too.
Hey, all I'm going to say to you is, guys, regardless of what band you like or what you think is a silly release, you need these releases to be out there. Because I guarantee you, the boomers who love Christopher Cross and are getting back into vinyl and stuff are going to see this in the stores and buy it. That's what's going to happen. You would want this for any record you're waiting for to be released on vinyl. And the companies, the people that are keeping these alive, you know what? My friend's releasing the album. That's my point of view. Why? Who's forcing you to make a stupid ass comment? Okay. I'm defending a company paid millions of dollars to Christopher Cross. You know what they probably did? They have accountants who crunch the numbers and says this is a smart decision to buy his catalog. And you know what they came back and said? Yes, those songs stream all the time. Those songs are licensed by companies for advertising and movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
This catalog makes tons of money. So here, as the table turns, take your thumb, as I tell everyone else, and shove it up your butt, because those are the facts behind my comments. What are the facts behind you don't like Christopher Cross and you're going to make stupid comments in the chat?
Hey,
that's what I'm telling you.
I want to thank you for taking the heat off of me and having Rob yell at you for a change.
Hey, Marcus.
All I'm saying is that.
Marcus says you had room in your heart for Christopher Cross. You weren't only listening to punk and heavy. That's true. But the stuff I was listening to that wasn't punk was still stuff like Emmylou Harris, more rootsy stuff, Van Zandt, Guy Clark, throughout the 70s. I was listening to that rootsy stuff.
Wait.
Christopher Cross was too new for you at the time.
This is my final
Exactly.
attack. This is my final
Joy
attack
Division.
on you. You didn't say you didn't like Christopher Cross. You said it being reissued is laughable. I am not a big Christopher Cross fan. In fact, I didn't have the album or the CD. So this is coming from me, maybe partially defending my friend, but I'm being factual. I come up here all the time saying, like, I'll give you a good for instance. The Rhino reissue of the Belladonna didn't need to happen. That's my opinion. But is it laughable? Obviously, Rhino crunches the numbers and says, you know what? This is one of our best albums. It's licensed. We make tons of money off of this, and probably is a good business decision to put this out in this way. But I don't agree with it. There's plenty, you can get plenty of good copies of that. That is my opinion. But is it laughable? No, I wouldn't make that comment. There you go. Thank you. End of me bashing you. Now I'm back on to Harry.
Okay. Oh my God.
No, I have a different problem with all of that shit. Why are they? How come they're not making records for any new fucking talent?
They are.
Why?
Well,
They are.
There are labels putting stuff all the time out for. Look.
I think things are upside down.
Kraft.
I think
Look
things are
at
upside
Kraft.
down and it doesn't bode
Look at
well.
Kraft and the Bluesville stuff. I mean, you wouldn't expect. Oh, those aren't big sellers, but they're doing excellent. Like with their $32. But
Are they doing it?
Mazzy, I'm going to start sending you. I get every week. I get an email for remainders.
Oh, I don't want it.
If you want to buy 4,000 copies of that Christopher Cross record, you can get it for $7 each.
I'm sure.
Neil
I'm
Young has
surprised-
a new album coming out.
I'm surprised you don't see cutouts anymore in record stores. New cutouts. You know what I mean?
But Mazzy, that's one thing I would like to get
They
the
don't allow
bottom.
returns. That's why there's no return.
Yeah, I would like to get to the bottom of what I would like an expert on cutouts to do a video with someone. Here's what I know. It was only a certain period of time in the record industry where they did those, but I have CDs with hole punches in them.
Yeah.
Those are cutouts, right?
Yeah. Okay. There's a whole thing on, I don't know, if one of the Facebook record forums. I mean, some guy wrote this thing. He got duped because he was buying a promo online and it came in and it had a hole punch, but no promo sticker or white label. And I said, and a few others who've been there, not all promo copies in the 70s or 80s said promo copy or had a white label. Sometimes you would have just a punch. And then he said, well, what's the difference between that and a cutout? Well, sometimes you don't know the difference. It's just what the record is.
Mazzy, I got into a fight with someone a long while ago. So my friend who was one of the owners of Omnivore would send me CDs with hole punches through the UPC code.
Mm-hmm.
And now today, I get from record stores reviewer copies that have a Sharpie through the UPC code.
Right.
Also, MoFi. I find copies of MoFi records, the ones that are numbered, with the box and no number in them. So, can someone tell me that is in the know? Are those considered modern cutouts or or modern promos?
No flies without numbers.
MoFis without numbers, records, brand new records
be
with
promos.
a Sharpie through the UPC code.
Well, that's
Or-
exactly
The
what-
Sharpie is definitely
Those are
a
promos.
exactly
promo.
what that is.
Yeah, like that. Is that a
Some-
promo
like,
now?
So this
Is that
this is a
today's
promo, but I assume your friend, a lot of smaller labels don't actually manufacture stamp promo copies or white labels. That's not really happening
We
anymore.
just cross out the
They just put it.
UPC
Now
code.
there are a few people that'll have a sticker, or they'll put out, or like the rhinos I got, either are blank where the number is, or it just says promo there.
Hey,
Oh,
everybody.
my rhino promos have the number 0000. So I have like a 0 numbered record. There's and they probably
Everybody,
make
I'm doing
100.
a new video on my channel where I show you to make your own promo copy.
Didn't
Okay.
Mike Esposito already do that one time?
And I'm going to do a video showing you how to remove the promo marks from your promo albums.
Well, I already did a video of that, so in your face, Harry.
I know that's how I learned how to do it.
But here, I'm going to be honest, and
No, lie to
people,
us.
you can come back at me if you don't see that Christopher Cross record for sale on the N Groove, then I'm wrong.
I think didn't he? Well, when does it come out? Tell us the release date. Somebody look it
I
up.
should know this.
Okay, let me look it up.
Hold on, I'm going to the N Groove.
Omnivore Records site. All right. New releases. Omnivore.
I had to get a new cover for Supertramp Breakfast in America from MoFi because when I got it, it had a seam split.
It happens.
They sent me a new cover out with no number. So, you know what is that?
Okay, I don't. Hold on.
Hold
second.
on. Maybe I'll just try and get an answer, but he's not big on instantly texting me back. Okay.
Well, you know it's unfortunate. I'm looking at the new releases, and Christopher Cross isn't listed, so we need to.
Maybe it's already been released.
No, but it would be it would show up. Let me look under artists. Artists. Is there a search? Okay.
I'll have the answer shortly. Stop straining your brain. But if someone knows somebody, I would like to find the expert knowledge person of what promos are and what promos aren't, what cutouts technically were and weren't. So a record store owner once told me this.
Okay.
So remember, we're going through all these psych records that are being reissued that are rare and what's up, Mazzy?
It comes out this Friday, the 20th.
Okay. So Kimbo and Chance, go put your orders in. You'll get your records on Friday. All right. So record store owner told me this once. Remember last Black Friday or last year's record store day? There was that one psych record that everyone said is being reissued. I think it was being reissued by Jackpot. And the originals go for a ton of money. It was explained to me by a record store owner that particular record was put out on Capitol.
Gandalf.
And Capitol did not make cutouts. They did not put them back in the stores. All those records were sent back to Capitol and they destroyed them. Capitol, in fact, a lot of these records, the Gandalf record. Thank you, Kimbo. The Gandalf record. The Gandalf record is not a big, expensive record because of the quality of the music, although I've heard people say it's a great record. It's an expensive record because it was put out on Capitol, and Capitol did not send records back to the record store as cutouts. They destroyed them. In fact,
that's true, because I've never seen a Capitol cutout.
Right. In fact, creating rarities. So look at all these records that you think or right now go for a lot of money. And if they were put out on Capitol, there was no chance for anyone to own that record, because if it was a flop, they destroyed all the extra copies of them.
Okay, here's a good example. Jackpot Records does excellent reissues, like the Gandalf, and they did the meters, and they've been doing good things. Kevin Gray cuts them. You know what they put out? They put out 5. Now, does the world need these? Kimbo and I saw these the other day, and we talked about it. 5 Martin Denny records. You see them, you see those for $1, but they're all trashed. They're all fucking
they're all trashed. And actually, they've, in recent years, those records have gone up.
Yeah,
in
the
price.
Tiki Lounge. I mean, he bought one of Arthur Lyman or Les Baxter for $20. So, and it was in good shape. That's why it was $20. So Jackpot put out these great, 5 of them they put out. So, and they're selling. I see them in stores. They're not selling massively, but they don't need to.
Hold on. So the In-Groove has made one of his top 100 records, analog records you need to own, is the Soul Chicken, whatever. What is the soul jazz record? The guitarist. People help me.
The not the organ player.
No, he's a guitar player. Can
Schmaltz?
someone help me? Chicken Fat. Okay, thank you. Chicken Fat. That's one of his top records you should get. Jackpot put that out. In fact, the same year, months apart, Verve by Request, the record company, Universal, put it out, and Jackpot put it out as an analog version.
Okay, so you bought all the Martin Denny records. They're great. Does the world need Martin Denny records? I mean, someone could argue. Everyone's got their thing, their lane, and it's easy to say, "Oh, that we don't need Christopher Cross, we don't need Martin Denny, we don't need, fucking Cars again."
I'm telling you, we need Rod McKuen reissues on
How
all
many
of them.
Cars records do we fucking need?
Hey, Harry,
they're everywhere.
Harry, I have another record for you if you want to trade for it. I have an autographed Rod McKuen record. Do you want that?
I gave Mazzy a Rod McKuen record that had a whole letter he wrote inside the jacket.
He did this on a lot. That's what I have.
Which one?
I have it.
I'll look at it.
All I'm saying is this: one man's Martin Denny is another man's Christopher Cross.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I agree with that. It's easy for us to say, "Why?"
But Martin Denny it's good. Those records were popular, and they're all trashed. You can't find a
one man's Ray Davies is another man's Ray Davis.
Exactly.
Hey Harry, when you're here, Jim told me the spot. Do you want us to take you to where Ray Davies got chlamydia or got into sexual?
Okay.
Hey, how do I get tickets to the Jimmy Kimmel show?
I'll send you a site. You go sign up.
Okay.
It's not hard. In fact, I believe. All right, I just got a message, and I won't say who it is, but someone wants that Rod McKuen autograph record.
Let them have it.
There's no accounting for taste.
Yeah, you'll have to find a way to trade it with me, but I have no problem giving it to you, mystery person.
Mystery person, please sign in.
Well, he wrote one of his biggest books is Stanton Street and Other Sorrows. And I was born on Stanton Street in Sanford, looking over the park. So I have an affinity for Rod McKuen. Gene.
And the San Sebastian strings.
Yes.
Yeah.
The sun, the earth.
Yeah, those are big sellers.
So
yeah.
Here's a thing I have, and it could be a subject of a video. Guys who are popular, and you say to yourself, how are they popular? They can't sing. Is Rod McKuen that kind of guy?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, is he any different than Leonard Cohen?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Well, yeah. So Leonard
They
Cohen
both have the same style.
No,
but Rod McKuen sold a lot more records.
He had a vibe. Yeah, Leonard Cohen had a vibe.
He was the Barry White of his era.
Exactly. He was the white guy of his era. I actually got in when I moved to Seattle for some reason. I think it was I got into a little, like for a couple months, a Rod McKuen mode. So every time I'd see a clean copy, I bought like 3 or 4 of his records, and they're kind of fun to listen to if you're in the mood.
See, here's the difference. Delphina is one of the rare ladies who comes around here, and Leonard Cohen made her feel weak at the knees. I don't think Rob McKuen has made
Rob
anyone.
McKuen was a poet.
Leonard Cohen's was so good. I mean, yeah.
Here. Rex doesn't often say something funny.
Yeah, that's not how you. That's not even how you
laid as
spell
much
McKuen,
as
okay.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, Rod McKuen was.
Hey,
He was at
I'm
the
not
top of
starting
my
this
list.
poll. I'm not starting this poll,
Gene.
but who got laid more, Rob McKuen or Leonard Cohen?
Make a T-shirt of it, Rob.
That's you.
Well, let
man.
me ask you this: Who
Oh,
got
I
laid more? Fans of Rod McKuen or fans of Leonard Cohen?
You know, Concert Buddy, if you really want to jack up your channel, that should be the theme. I want to hear you and Arnaldo and Jason and your team talk about who got laid more, Rod McKuen, Leonard Cohen, Christopher Cross.
Actually, Mazzy, I would like them to talk about which one of them got laid.
I don't think Rod McKuen fans were doing it.
You don't think they were? Oh,
Nope.
Oh, I bet you. Sure.
They were doing a 5 p.m. martini, putting on Rob McKuen, and then getting all diddy.
Getting all diddy like P.
Really?
Diddy.
I didn't find anything.
This stream has taken a turn now.
There was no drugs, sex, or rock and roll involved.
You know, you know what they make every year? Music biopics are big, right? I'd like there to be a Herbie Mann, at least a documentary about Herbie Mann. I don't think I know enough about him. I know he died reasonably kind of young. I think he was 70. I would like to know. Yeah, that guy didn't get laid.
He looks like a surfer.
Not really, Matthew. No,
An old surfer.
Nope.
No, you know who he looks like?
He looks like a minister.
He looks like a youth minister.
Yeah. He looks like.
Well, they get laid a lot.
I would keep my kids the fuck away from him. Yeah. He makes me.
You know what it is? He's the American Jacques Brel. How's that?
Who the hell's Jacques Brel?
You don't know who Jacques
He's like
Brel
Rob
is?
McKuen.
Okay, well that says it all because
how
there
many
doesn't need
people
to
in the
be an
peanut
American
gallery know who
Jacques
Jacques Brel was?
Who would you put? Who's better, Jacques Brel or this guy?
Well, Jacques Brel sold a shit. He was the number one artist in France for years.
He might be the who's the guy that was the white guy that did the Elvis stuff in the 50s?
Andy Kaufman?
Elvis Presley.
No, there was Elvis, and then there was the guy that
Pat Boone.
Pat Boone. So McKuen is the Pat Boone of Brel. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
All I'm going to say
is cool.
I'm no fashion expert, but if anyone's considering a red tank top, don't do it. Not tank top, turtleneck. Don't do the turtleneck.
Okay, here's a trivia question for Mr. Movie here. That song Gene was from what movie? Rob.
The Miss Jean Brody,
right?
the prime of
the
prime of Miss Jean Brody.
Prime of Miss Jean Brody, exactly.
I love Oliver's version of Jean.
It's a good song.
Agree. I practically disagree with Chris Record Talk on almost every topic, but me and him are aligned on this one.
What the fuck is a Jacques Brel? Oh my god.
It's okay.
What period of time was Jacques Brel relevant?
60s into the 70s.
There you go. When you're Gen X, you don't know who Jacques Brel is.
You know Culture?
Yes. It's in yogurt.
They shouldn't have to know who Jacques Brel is.
Well, that's the old joke. Used to be, what's the difference between San Francisco and Los Angeles? San Francisco has an active culture. Oh, I blew that joke. What's the difference when yogurt in LA? Never mind.
That's the difference between LA and San Francisco is that you blow the joke in San Francisco.
Yeah, totally. I totally blew it. Yeah.
Kind of professional down here.
While technology pushes medicine forward.
Okay, Mazzy, we don't know how you need to take.
Listen, we don't need to know about your Cialis and all
Yeah.
No,
that.
it's like, you find a video and there's a
Yeah,
commercial.
you find a video which the ads are tailored towards you because they know your data. Okay.
No, now I'm going to be getting Rob McKuen ads all day.
All right. I don't want to be taken off. Okay.
Jacques Brel
I-
was so over dramatic, like that kind of. He had a style,
How come every Canadian, their joke when they hear of a name, and they reference them as some sort of hockey player?
Remember the joke in Annie Hall? I knew it's Jeanne d'Arc. It means the lights out in the bathroom.
Isn't Annie Hall her real name?
No,
The
it was
actress?
Kowalski.
No,
That
No,
was in the
it's
movie?
Diane Keaton.
it's dying.
Yeah, I know, but isn't her name really Annie?
I don't know.
I think look it up.
I know what Monty Hall's real name was.
What?
It was Holotsky. He was from Vinyadrek. He was from Winnipeg, Canada.
Okay, now what Capitol cutouts do you have backstage recordings?
Yeah.
I have. Well, okay, it's not a.
Are they from
Capitol-
the 80s?
I've seen
Because if they're from
promo
the
copies. I've
60s
never
and
seen
70s.
cutouts.
Yeah, the Hole Punch promos. I have a Steve Miller Band, Children of the Future, but that was I have a whole second. These are kind of cool. Harry would
That's
like
right,
these
Bill.
if I was selling them for money, but remember a lot of these records, record companies would reservice radio stations because if whatever the radio station would wear out Beatle records or Doors records or whatever. So I have a series of about a dozen Beatle records from the 1980s with the gold foil stamp, and it's like the red and blue. It's the American records, Something New and A Hard Day's Night and Yellow Submarine.
Yeah,
and
but
Sgt.
Mazzy,
Pepper. But that's
hold
just
on.
servicing the radio station. But they're gold stamp.
Okay. Mazzy, would you call yourself even Harry, would you call both yourself a high-level Beatles collector? Like high level?
I used to
I
be.
would call you. Okay.
I buy them when I
what
see them.
label-
Yes.
The Beatles were on Capitol in the US, right?
Right.
How many Beatles cutouts do you guys have or
None.
have come across in your lives?
None.
Well, I have some that are like VJ counterfeits.
But that's
not
not Capitol.
Capitol.
Those are not Capitol.
I have promo copies of Beatle records.
Capitol
not
put
white label.
3 in the corner, or they
cutout.
did a hole punch.
A lot of times they
Those are
just did a
promos, not cutouts.
right top corner hole punch, and it didn't say promo sometimes. I have a promo of the first Cutouts record with a press kit, and it's just got a hole, and it's
That's
a promo.
Capitol.
Yeah.
In the press kit, does it say that they're really the Beatles?
No, but it has all the news articles with pictures
Okay, but
talking about maybe this is the Beatles.
let's commonsensically go back on this Capitol thing. Was
Listen,
Clack
Raji
2
Vinyl.
was Clack 2 a big seller for Capitol?
Fair.
First one.
Fair.
Was Gandalf a big seller for Capitol?
No.
So what I'm talking about are bands that Capitol put out that were flop records for them.
Yeah.
They
Mad
took them all
River.
back and they destroyed them.
In
That's why
68,
these records are worth a lot of money. They're rare.
Otherwise, there'd be a shitload of country albums that were cutouts.
yeah,
Right.
In 68, there was the Mad River record, the black and white cover, which is kind of bluesy, psychedelic-y, and
Was that a big seller?
no, it wasn't. It wasn't. But it's
So-
kind of a cult record. It's not super expensive, but
But
you don't see it.
But I'm the person who's asking for someone who is very knowledgeable on this to talk to us. That's what I'm asking. They sound exactly like the Beatles, man. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like you can't even tell the difference.
It doesn't sound like the Beatles, but it was Beatlesque, and so it
Yeah,
was
but
a
how many-
stupid-
That's the one thing I will
Jellyfish is
100% agree
Beatlesque.
with. Their influence on popular music is crazy.
Yeah.
There's so many bands that use those Beatle-esque things. in
And
their
remember,
music.
this is 1975 or 6, 7, whenever it came out. And there was that still hope the Beatles would get back together. So anything Beatles,
And they were on Capitol.
yeah. I mean,
Same thing with the Knack.
the Knack. And,
79,
yeah,
78.
exactly. The Knack had that. I mean, no one pretended they
Because
were
the
the
Knack
same.
album was the first one where they brought back the Capitol Rainbow label, right?
Yeah.
Right, and they dressed those guys in the gray suits.
Hey, by the way, people, Omnivore put out a bunch of Knack shit, so you can get Knack music from Omnivore. Hey,
I can't listen to the Knack
Still
anymore.
for Omnivore there. Are you waxed?
Hey,
Too dated.
Still.
listen, but they didn't sell, and they took them back and destroyed them.
Now, okay,
Now, Chris
that's a great story.
Chris James mentions the Masked Marauders. That's an album that was made after a phony review or a parody review was made of the album. Somebody created an album to match the review.
Can't Get No Nookie. And it was supposedly a jam with John Lennon and Mick Jagger and Paul McCartney and Bob Dylan. And they put out not a very good record of it. I have it, and I had the
Yeah,
press
but
kit.
hold on, weren't they produced by the Beatles?
No, what?
More or
Masked
less,
Marauders?
Paul.
Badfinger?
Well, yes. Well, not the yes. Paul McCartney and George Harrison did one.
Yeah, they produced them.
They're on Apple. They're on Apple.
Yeah, makes sense then.
And Paul wrote the first song that was a hit.
I
Come
mean,
and Get Me.
I'm a big fan of Cheap Trick, right? There's a lot of Beatles and Cheap Trick's music.
So here's a promo copy of that fake
that's
album.
cool. That's cool.
Who was the band in that album?
Yeah, I have that insert, I think.
Well, it was supposed to be Mick Jagger,
Dylan.
I don't know, a bunch of people.
Nunzi.
I can't get no
Those were their-
nookie.
Those were their two biggest selling acts. I'm not talking like they were like one-off bands that flopped. None of those albums flopped. If anything, they overpressed them. Right? Am I wrong?
It's not a very good record. at that.
No, it's not.
It's too bad. You wanted it to be really good, right? You know what's better is Lemmings, the National Lampoon record with all the parodies of everyone. That's a better parody type of
And
record.
this is the original review that Rolling Stone did of a fake album.
But it was Rolling Stone who did it.
Yeah.
Okay. What was their whole point with doing that?
It was just a joke. It was supposed to be fun and see what they could get, just to see what people would say about it.
Does it say who wrote it? Is it a real name? I forgot.
TM Christian.
Yeah, it's a fake.
Yeah, whoever that is. So let me read it. It says, the recent issue of Rolling Stone, the rock and roll paper, put a put-on review of the Masked Marauders, supposedly a super special secret album featuring Mick Jagger, Bob Dylan, John Lennon, and others. Everybody's taking it seriously, and not just the young people either. Alan Klein, business manager of the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, called and wanted to know where he could get one. Albert Grossman, Dylan's manager, had his secretary ring and asked where they could get one. Al Cooper, listed in the review as producing the date, refused to comment to a reporter, adding to the mystery. And then somebody was smart enough to create the album to go with the review.
Was it done in conjunction or someone just made the album?
No, it was afterwards, I believe.
Some label smartly. What label was that?
It was on Deity Records.
Yeah, someone decided, hey, let's make some money, and decided you got a review.
And you can find this record cheap.
It's not expensive. Yeah,
What genre is it?
It's rock.
Okay.
It's
it's
bad
jammy.
rock.
It can't get no nookie.
Fluffy, they haven't been boring, and that has nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
It's got I Am the Japanese Sandman, Ring Tang Tang Do, or something. It's got just weird song titles.
You know what? Okay, let's talk about supergroups. Okay, I want to ask you, Harry,
Why?
seriously.
Why?
What is the most disappointing one of the most disappointing supergroup jam albums ever. With all the people on it, it's a terrible record. What do you think?
What do you got?
70s.
Kampuchea.
No, that's a concert. That's different. I mean, but an album with a bunch of great artists coming together to make a really cool record.
Oh,
When
yeah, I can't
was the super
Yes,
group?
Easy Street got, or Easy now got it. Jamming with Edward. I mean, Ry Cooder
Oh.
and Brian
Oh.
Wilson. I'm not Brian Wilson. Brian Jones, right? And it's terrible. Nicky Hopkins.
I don't think it's terrible.
I've never heard of it, and
It is
I
not terrible.
It was
I've never
on
heard of
Rolling
that
Stone
album.
Records. Wasn't it on Rolling Stone Records? It's a
Yeah,
jamming
yeah.
record. I have it every like 5 years.
don't
I
think
pull
it's
out to
true.
play it, and it's not very good.
I think
I
the
disagree.
super group was a thing in the 80s.
Best supergroup ever, obviously, was the Traveling Wilburys.
You know,
Bad English.
And you know,
Obviously.
the Cream was a supergroup.
Yeah, but no one knew. No one in America knew. Only knew Eric Clapton at the time. I didn't know who Ginger Baker was, or I didn't know who Jack Bruce was at that time. Did
Yeah.
you?
No, but that's why they were called the Cream. They were the cream of the crop in their
Right.
field.
They were great musicians in.
Well,
in the
wait,
UK.
what is Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young technically a super group? Or
Yeah,
not?
yeah. I mean, you got Buffalo Springfield, the Birds, and
Blind
the
Faith.
Hollies. The Hollies. I think that Blind Faith album is excellent, though.
The
The one
Faith
band
album-
that I don't like that Mazzy's
It's
a
like-
huge fan of is Delaney and Bonnie. I cannot listen to them.
Really?
God,
No.
they're so good.
Delaney, Bonnie and Friends?
Yeah,
Huh.
I can't do it.
We got to get ourselves together. But do you like Joe Cocker, Mad Dogs, and Englishmen?
Yeah, I do.
And they're the band with Leon Russell, really.
Yeah, but it's got Joe Cocker and it's got Leon Russell.
Fair enough. Okay.
And I'm a big Leon Russell fan.
Yeah, me too.
This is not terrible.
Yes, it is.
Not great.
It's read who's on it.
Um,
On the front.
it's got
It's on the front cover. On the right, on the front
Nicky
cover.
Hopkins, Ry Cooder, Mick Jagger, Bill Wyman, and Charlie Watts.
There we
It's
go.
it's just they added Ry Cooder and Nicky Hopkins.
That's why it's not very good.
Right, Nicky Hopkins played on everything they did.
Yeah.
No, I meant Ry Cooder.
Yeah. Well, he was
This is
teaching
probably
Keith,
when Ry Cooder was-
Keith Bottleneck.
Yeah,
You'll see Manfred Stock says supergroup Damn Yankees, but that's too new for me.
Yeah, but to me, in my knowledge as a Gen Xer, the super group was a thing in the 80s.
What about Mad Season?
Who the hell's Mad Season?
They're like the grunge super.
Northwest.
No, the grunge super group was one of that other band. Not Mudhoney, but what was the other band?
Come on,
Shit,
Kimbo.
there's so much. There was so much incestuous shit going on with
Mad
those
Season
bands.
is excellent. That's a great record. They just put out that double. I didn't get it because
Temple of the Dog. There it is. Thank you.
But Dana would know if anybody knew.
Well, if Dana says Mad Season's the best, it is not the
Mad
best.
Now, there were a
Season's
lot
a
of
good
albums,
album.
like for instance, Paul Kantner's and Grace Slick's "Blows Against the Empire" with David Crosby and
That was good.
and
That was
all
good.
the Jefferson Airplane and the Grateful Dead and
Yeah,
Nicky
but did they
Hopkins.
tour? Here's the
No.
deal.
No,
They make
no.
an album, it's one thing, but did they tour as that act?
No,
No, same thing with David Crosby's first solo record. If I could only remember my name, it's basically the same people as.
all those
Blows Against
people
the
were
Empire.
at Wally
I like
Hyder's
Asia.
doing that stuff. Yeah,
But they could never tour. Those people never play again together like that.
right. But they were
The
playing a lot.
Notting Hillbillies.
Oh yeah.
Old and in the
I
way.
didn't care for them.
Old and in the way.
Asia did not suck. Yeah, Asia was a super group. They did
Asia
not suck.
sucked.
They did
Asia
not.
sucked.
They didn't.
Okay.
What about
about
Secret Policeman's Ball?
What about
Well,
the
that's a
power?
concert. That's an
That
event.
was to raise money. What about the power station? They were a super group, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Myers, calm down. They did not suck. You might not like them.
Yeah,
but
I'm
the
with Chris.
consensus is they do not
Asia
suck.
did suck.
No, they
The
didn't.
New Barbarians were
No,
good.
Asia was okay.
New Barbarians rocked.
Is that
It
multi?
was the heat of the moment.
Well,
Most of the times you get these super group
Velvet
people together.
Revolver, good one. Yeah.
Flat.
I mean, yeah,
Doesn't work.
I wasn't a fan, but
yeah, Velvet
What about-
Revolver.
Okay, let's go into the jazz room. What about VSOP, the live album?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing about jazz. Jazz was all about the best musicians playing with each other all the time.
I'm just trying to give
So
you a
how
little
can there-
throw you a
how
bone.
but that was a super group, I suppose. But actually, it wasn't. Actually, Mazzy, that was not a super group. It was the band that played with Miles without Miles.
Right, exactly.
So
I
it
saw
was
that
almost
show at Berkeley.
like they were the band. Remember the band?
Yeah,
It was said the same thing. But if you pick up a jazz album, at least like
Sirens were being invaded.
they're coming to take Mazzy away.
that's the thing with jazz is everybody was on everybody's albums.
There you go. If they didn't even have to be on the same label.
The Highwaymen.
That's
That was
country,
their
right?
album.
Well,
I saw them.
Yeah.
I saw them.
The Highway Women is not a good album. The Highwaymen,
good
whatever they
album.
call
It
it,
is a good
I didn't
album.
like it.
Oh, it's good. Anyway, the Highwaymen with Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings and Chris Christopherson and John. Who else? The other one.
You
That's
think you're being funny, but here's the deal.
Who was it?
Go look who played on Christopher Cross's album. Then you'll see. Such a long way to go.
Who is on this? I don't even know who plays on this.
Michael McDonald's on there, I think.
Okay, let's see.
Lee Ritenour. There's lots of good people on that.
Michael Martian, who produced it. Okay. Nicolette Larson.
Yeah.
Nicolette Larson. Okay. Michael McDonald.
I just did that, Mazzy. You weren't paying attention.
Valerie Carter. She's good. Victor Feldman.
Victor Feldman.
Yeah,
There you go.
This is Feldman's son, Victor.
No, wasn't Victor Feldman
He's a big
in
jazz musician.
Crusaders, right?
He was a British Jew who came to the U.S. and found success.
Lenny Castro.
There you go.
Who else? Lowell. Dedicated to Lowell George. Okay, I'm all in now, Rob. It's dedicated.
Mazzy, have you ever seen this album?
This is I have that record. Okay, I'm getting sentimental now, and I'm going to do a promo.
Oh, he's getting verklempt.
I bought that album at Billy's Salon record store, Billy's Records.
Did you?
Yeah. And I at Billy's Record Salon, he had it there. And we're doing live stream 5 p.m. West Coast time Saturday. It'll be promoted, but like a little tribute to Billy. So
After my auction.
yeah.
I'm going to go make coffee. I'll be right back.
You are? Let's see if we can end the stream before he comes back.
So who else?
So she shot and killed her boyfriend.
Who
Well,
did
I'm all in by that
Claudine
story.
Lager.
a spider, whatever.
Spider
I don't even know who she was. Who was she? When did
She's
that
married
happen?
to Andy
Andy Williams.
Claudette Colbert.
She
Claudette
was married
Langer.
to Andy Williams in the 60s?
Yeah. But
Is
you
that
know
his
what?
label?
She was convicted of manslaughter. She did 30 days in jail, and she got to do them on the weekends.
Supposedly it was an
White
accident.
privilege right there.
Yeah. Well, she's French.
French privilege.
That's actually a really good album. Some good people are on that record, Harry. I forgot.
Who
who
was
it
the
is.
guy she killed?
It's all the wrecking crew.
Her boyfriend, Spider. He was a big ski pro.
Why was she just nutty or did he do something
No,
bad?
it was like
It was a lovers that quarrel.
they pulled a gun and there was something happened and the gun went off, type of thing.
She said he was showing her how to use the gun, but he was shot. And when he was shot, they said he would have had to have his back to her and kneeling down when he was shot. So she was.
Andy
convicted.
Williams stood by
Isn't
her.
that the way you
and-
teach
did.
people how to use
He
guns?
paid for her defense.
Yeah.
No, a skiing accident is Sonny Bono.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Miranda Richardson.
Don't know her.
She was married to Liam Neeson. She's an actress. She's a part of that.
No, but she
Oh, that's
fell down and
right.
bumped her head, right?
She
Yeah.
played Patty Hearst in a movie.
She was in the remake of the
Parent Trap.
yeah.
She was the mother. Yeah. Beautiful actress. Wonderful. Yeah. Sad. That was sad.
What's sad is that Liam Neeson is doing this movie.
Why?
It'll be a hit, Harry. Watch. They'll make
He's such a good dramatic actor, though. It's just like, eh.
But he's done really funny stuff. He's done some good comedy stuff. Give me back my. I mean, after Schindler's List, you know. I mean,
that's a good comedy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Patty.
You know, the movie I haven't seen yet that I want to see is Shawshank Redemption.
Really?
I've never seen it.
Oh gosh.
It's a
Here-
long build up, but it's worthwhile.
Well, hold on one second. Harry, when you watch it, can you video yourself watching it? And then put that up as a video. I would love to see that.
It's a slow burn, but
Can't find it anywhere streaming for free, though.
Oh, come on. You just bought two fucking
Dude,
bins.
you could go anywhere and buy the DVD of it at a used store for like $1.
Don't tell me the ending because I have not seen it and I do want to see it.
The end of the Shawshank Redemption is this. Mr. Shawshank gets up and says, "Shush, Harry, I'm trying to talk."
Isn't Raquel Welch in it?
Yeah.
There you go, Fluffy. I'll look for it at Amoeba. If I can get through the police and the military barricades.
I'll find out where you can watch it right now. There's a site called
And I haven't seen The Green Mile either.
That's good, but that's not.
There's both Stephen King things, yeah.
Now, it wasn't Morgan Freeman in The Bucket List. That was a good movie. I can't remember who was in it. I remember enjoying it, though.
Yeah, but you're the demographic for old upset men movies.
Rob, have you ever seen a TV show called Men of a Certain Age?
The Ray
Yeah. I thought
Raymond?
that was such a good show.
Okay, I'm
I
finding.
know I can rent it on Prime, but I don't want to rent it. I want it for free.
There's a streaming service called Filio. If you have that, you can stream it.
I don't, but maybe I can look for it.
It's funny it's not on Max, which should be. They own that movie.
Cool. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna try not to look into it too much there, Bill.
Where's Bill saying?
Go to Mexico and paint a boat.
Listen, Bill, we don't need you trying to ruin Harry's experience. Yeah, I could tell you how you could watch it for free, Harry, but I would have to kill you.
Okay.
I hate to disappoint you, Rob, but I have to head out.
No, we celebrate that.
You can't stay for 12 more minutes?
No.
Yeah, where do you have to go?
I just got a call. I got to call back someone. So
Oh no,
nothing
Ciao.
wrong.
it's Polygram Auctions.
Yeah, no. Chris Cross just called me, so he was a little upset.
You have to wear your clothes backwards if you talk to him.
Chris Cross?
Yeah, remember the band Criss Cross?
No,
They wore their clothing backwards.
no Red Cross, or was it Red Cross? Is it the punk band? Yeah. All right. See you later.
All right.
Booty call. When booty calls, you answer.
Yeah, he's hanging out with David. That David Lowery guy looked old. He looked older than Mazzy.
What? Can that even be?
I don't know. I didn't think he'd be that old if he started Camp Urban and Beethoven and Cracker.
You know, I've
I
never
saw
listened
Beethoven.
to Camper Van Beethoven
What?
or Bach, for that matter.
I saw a band called Cracker open for Hot Tuna in 1974.
Is that the same Cracker?
I don't think so. At the Lion's Share in San Anselmo.
Harry, do you have a Blu-ray player?
I do have a Blu-ray player.
And it plays both DVDs and Blu-rays, right?
Yeah.
So Christopher, he could have either or.
Took you a long time to make coffee, Jim.
I know.
Don't you use Folgers?
Chris, he's not listening.
No. I have one of those little
Percolator.
no. I have one of those
My
little
mom had one that the water percolated up and came through, and you
Everyone
always had
had
coffee
that.
grounds in it.
I'm going to tell you right now. Everyone had those, Harry. And then one day, overnight, literally, everyone had instant coffee makers. It was a crazy thing. It's like there's two things I remember growing up. Like everyone's percolators went away and they had an instant coffee maker
right.
and microwave ovens.
Well, I use a Keurig myself now.
Those are brown water. Those are brown water makers.
No, that comes later.
No, brown water Keurig.
So what time Monday works for you guys? Because I have the whole day.
So do I.
Why don't we meet like we did before? Why don't we? Oh, actually, the record store down there where you're going to be is closed on Mondays. That's a bad record store day.
No,
Yeah.
there's Record Safari and Freak Beat and everything else, though.
We could go to Amoeba too.
Yeah, I need to do that, of course.
Wab Wab. Where are you staying? What part of town?
Down in Palos Verdes.
Oh, you're completely geographically undesirable.
Yeah, I know. What's your secret store, Rob?
We can't go there. They're closed on Mondays.
Oh, well, can't you call and see if they'll open for us? Tell them you got a whale coming from Washington.
Harry, I'm
that
sure
buys
you.
a lot of
Hold
records.
on, Harry. I'm sure you know this better than anyone. No one opens a closed store for a guy named Harry. It just doesn't happen.
How about Amoeba? I mean, Rockaway.
Never
they
been.
all-
There. Well, no, I was at Rockaway like in the 80s when you could go into the store.
It's appointment only now. It's pretty good.
And I'll be in San Francisco too for a while, but that's probably going to be I'm going to be in San Francisco Thursday, I think, but I don't know if I'll be doing any record shopping.
Very nice.
Well, he'll be here on a Monday. They're not closed.
Yeah, they just weren't open on the weekends.
Well, I'm going to be here. I'll be there Monday and Tuesday, probably. I could do part Tuesday.
Tuesday would be the better day to go record shopping, but put that in your head. If you can change to Tuesday, that might be the better day.
Okay. I think I can do that. I'll let you know.
Oh, yeah.
There's lots of record stores in LA closed on Mondays. There are, right, Jim?
So what I might do is go down and hit like Amoeba on Monday and then Tuesday run around with you guys.
Or if you want to meet up going to Amoeba, let me know.
Okay.
If you're going to Amoeba, we should meet up because it's close.
Okay.
You're going to drive.
And then I can see the pig.
But there's another store near Amoeba closed on Mondays.
Which one is that?
Counterpoint. All I can say, Harry, if you don't have to drive all the way up to go to a Amoeba on Monday, we could just hit it on Tuesday.
Okay. I'm just thinking of something to do on Monday if I'm not.
You're near a gorgeous beach. Why don't you just go over there?
Maybe I could go roller skating.
There's a few stores down in San Pedro.
Yeah, it wasn't near where I'll be at.
On Mondays either.
None of them are open on Mondays.
Well, one
Is
of
there
them
anything
is only
anything near
open on weekends.
Apollo, whatever the hell it is I'm staying at?
House Rudy's. Yeah, there's
You could go down. Here's what you should do on Monday. Go down to Long Beach. It's not that far away. There's plenty of stores there.
Okay.
If you want to go with someone, I'll meet up with you on Monday and go down to Long Beach. It's up to
go to
you.
Bagatelle.
Yeah, let's do that.
But I don't know if
Make
they're
my
open.
notes.
I don't know if they're open on Monday.
Half of them are. Are you going to roller skate much down here?
If I bring a half shirt with me, I will.
A belly shirt?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I live here, but I don't see much of roller skating. People are on scooters and
Yeah,
bicycles.
they're not. Yeah.
Maybe
Roller skating.
skateboards. I see more skateboards than people on roller blades or whatever.
There's a roller skating rink and an ice skating rink that just closed down.
Christopher, thank you for that link. And maybe I'll just buy that.
What? Buy what?
He sent me a link for Amazon's got the Green Mile and Shawshank on one Blu-ray.
Have
Or
you
maybe I
ever,
can find it at Amoeba.
have you ever been on a live stream before, Ryan Anderson? Tuesday would be definitely the better day. We would do some good record hunting. It'll be like that day where I took you out and you did very well.
I survived.
Well, I have plans for you this time.
But if you're going to come up on
This will be the line delivered when Harry's here. You'll never interrupt anyone ever again.
We'll have to have what is it? The ball or something you have to pass around when who can speak?
I've never been in group therapy like that, Harry.
it's a pillow.
A pillow, okay.
I'm going out record hunting. I'll show a few records that I picked up yesterday. They're jazz, so no one will give a shit about them.
I gotta go. See you later.
I'm a big fan of Matt Waldron. Not a great cover, but he was very big on Japan. These are one of the albums he put out in Japan. This is very good. Oh, this is good. Elvin Jones. The Elvin Jones Jazz Machine live in Japan, 1978. This is really cool because side 2, they do a Love Supreme. The whole Love Supreme.
Very nice.
And Frank Foster's filling in for John Coltrane. I showed that. This is a very hard to find, or at least it's a little pricey. Is this Black Glory Mal Waldron? And if Mal Waldron's smoking on a cover, you should buy that record. Nick, I'll do a preview on Thursday. I'll do a preview video, but I promise you, there's so many good records I have for Saturday. I did show some earlier. This is a really good jazz label, Crisscross Jazz. I think it's from the Netherlands, the label. And this is Johnny Cole's Quartet. This is a good record. And then, this is a live kind of free jazzy record, 1971. That's a cool Victor label in Japan. All right, that's some stuff I picked up. Jazz people will be appreciative. But I have...
What is Pinocchio's?
We're not going
We'll
there.
go there. We'll go there.
What is it?
It's a lame Italian restaurant.
They have a deflavorizer there. They put everything through it.
It really is not very good. Hey, is Dag on? Here, I'll show some records that I have that I'm not putting in the auction, but they're a little pricey, so I'm going to sell them. This will be in the auction. There's a blues record, Mississippi John Hart. Hart. Okay. So
Yeah.
these, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
going if Fluffy got the shards there.
He did. He did. It could happen.
This place, you have you ever been to a restaurant?
It's
Like you're
inbred.
you're in a town that might not be known for a certain type of cuisine, but there is a restaurant there that makes it. And you just picture people in the back opening up frozen dinners and then cooking them and put them on a
Is that
plate.
Pinocchio's?
That's Pinocchio.
But
You
here's
hear the
what's
microwave going ding.
Wait,
Your dinner's ready.
Oh, hold on. No, one of my favorite movies is Summer Rental with John Candy. There's a scene in that film where they go to a seafood restaurant, and that's what they're doing. They're just cooking microwavable frozen dinners.
Dane, I always look for promo stuff by Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
tons of promos down here.
I don't know if I've ever seen a promo of their records.
And I'll be looking for Japanese stuff with Obies too.
Oh, go to see if what's his name is open.
I went there last time I was here.
What were you looking for?
I look for Japanese pressings that have Obies.
That's right.
Yeah, Boogie Monroe. I think they're open on Mondays.
Because Patrick says they sound so good, so I like to get those.
No, I went there the other day, and he started making bargain bins.
Oh, nice! I bought quite a bit from him last time I was there.
Yeah, go there on Monday. I think they're open on Mondays. Just
Yeah, Jeff,
Just send me the name of it so I can find it.
Boogie Monroe.
Boogie Monroe.
MARU. And then there's the other guy in Long Beach, the guy that was at the show selling. I'm blanking on his name. He's got a lot of Japanese records.
Okay, guys. I think we did a good job today. Harry and I didn't get into a fight.
Not yet.
We agreed 65% on the topics discussed. Everyone have a lovely day.
Disappointing that Melinda came in and interrupted everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody have a lovely day. Unfortunately, we won't have Harry on Thursday, so we can have a sigh of relief.
Yeah. I'll be in memoriam.
Everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.